Hey, awesomes. Well, welcome to week 8. Trying to be a little ahead this week on videos. So we've got a lot of what's here on the week 8 page. It's somewhat of a repeat from week 7, carried down just because as you may recall from the notices I sent out, extended the mapping your sources, all right, for the discussion post number 2, sources maps. So they're due, give you an extra week, right? If you've already submitted yours, that's fine. You're good. Okay. Don't worry about it. So just work on that between now and this Friday. If you want to, if you've already got yours done, you want to post it now and get that completed. That's totally up to you. But it's open and like I said, just gave the extension. And of course, next week is our winter break. So for those of you who wanted to take advantage of that, then you've got the extra time to work on that through winter break. If you want to finish up your annotated bibliography, you certainly can, since you've got the extended time for that. So this week is talk about formatting the annotated bibliography, and I have pulled up the annotated bibliography samples page from the Purdue OWL. And so there's a sample MLA annotation, and annotations literally. Let's see, we'll go down to the APA one since that's us. It is literally just like this, right? So you'll have let's say this is your first one. So you'll have annotated bibliography up here at the top, and then you will literally just start in alphabetical order with your sources. Okay. And so you'll put in your, just like a standard references entry. Okay. You put the author, author's last name, first initial, year, title, all that good stuff, publisher, and then enter down, and then you'll write your 2 or 3 paragraphs for this here, right? I think the MLA citation one shows a summary, your assessment, and then of course your reflection paragraph. So 1 or 2, so 2 to 3 paragraphs. Sometimes these are the assessment along with the reflection. Sometimes can be in one paragraph. That's totally fine as long as you hit everything. You're good. Of course, it's got some other examples there, but this is literally the formatting. Okay, so it's everything APA. You don't need a title page for this or an abstract. Right, you just start off on page 1 with your annotated bibliography, and then put your citation there first, right? The author, last name, the source, if you will, and then write your couple 3 paragraphs right after that, and then the next one, right? So when you get after this one, you would so this line here would be whatever your next source is, right there, right? And you just literally. One right after the other, right? So recall too, for this assignment too, we're trying to get to, we want to have 7 strong sources. All right. So I had a couple of 1 or 2 emails last week asking about that. And so I kind of thought in conjunction with where we were, and since I felt like we had an extra week would be okay. So I'll give you the extra week if you need some extra time to get to those 7 sources, not only for your sources map, but also for your the annotated bibliography assignment itself. So you've got through the end of the winter break to get that done. Then when we come back from winter break, we'll start talking about, now that we've got, so you got your proposal on your topic, you got all your sources. Then we'll start putting those together to put our APA research papers together. And then we'll talk about the title page, abstract, introduction, and we'll start going into the specifics of each one of those sections of an APA formatted paper. And recall too, a lot of what you're doing right now with the sources map, just to kind of look ahead a little bit, there's a literature review section that's kind of as conversation. Then you'll talk about your material methods, your results. You'll have a discussion and a conclusion section. And all that stuff, right, from the introduction all the way down to your conclusion on an APA research paper, APA research style paper, is going to be so much easier with a good sources map that you've done. You've kind of put all your sources already in the conversation, got a really good idea of what's being talked about, how it's being talked about in relation to your topic from your research proposal. And then once you annotate all your sources, when you sit down and start putting together the APA research paper, you not necessarily, as you're writing that, need to you've already got all your research done. You don't got to go try to find more research at that point. Sometimes you do, but it's not like you're trying to do everything all at once. So you got your research proposal, found some sources, right? Kind of give you some background information, right, to introduce the topic. And then you kind of put a plan together, right, of how you're putting that together and what you're going to do. So now you're kind of putting the secondary research part of your plan together, okay? And then next week, the week after, we get back from the AP, when we get back from winter break, we'll start talking about, we've got secondary research, right? And then our methods and stuff like that. We'll talk about that, be some of our primary research that we've gathered. And we'll start talking about how we're going to put all that together. So it'll all start to come together, right? So right now, just focus on your sources, having those 7 really strong scholarly sources. Of course, 2 of those of which, right, will be your launch text or your core sources for your topic, what you're talking about. And you have the other 5 sources and putting those together in your map, right? And then once you kind of have that map put together, you can really see how they are in conversation with one another, and you understand each one of those sources, and that'll make putting the annotated bibliography together much simpler, right? So you can summarize, you can assess and reflect on all of your 7 sources. And when you put that together and submit that, then when you, like I said, when we sit down and start writing the APA research paper, it's going to be way easier. I have reposted for this week last week's overview video, right? So it's here. So you have to scroll back up to find it. So you have the week 8 overview video, which is this one, right? And you got the week 7 one there as well that goes into a little more detail talking about the maps and sourcing them and putting the sources together and kind of what that looks like. And of course, too, you can use the app or you can hand write it out, okay? And then we'll start to put all this stuff together. All right, so that's it for this week. All right, so you've got this week to, finish up your sources maps if you are still working on that. If you've already done it, that's totally fine. And you want to continue to work towards putting this together, you certainly can. Now, just because the due date here for this is extended, let's say you've already done your sources map and you've already started to work on your annotated bibliography and you want to get it out of the way before winter break, then you submit it whenever. You don't have to wait till Sunday, March 5th, but please feel free to take advantage of that extra time if you would like. All right, guys, that'll do it for me for now. Hope you have a great week. I'll be in touch midweek, see how things are going. Never hesitate to reach out if there's anything more that I can do for you. If you have any further questions, you just let me know. All right, have a great week. Stay safe and stay awesome. Bye, guys.